Angel and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to Therapy Tuesday. It's like, I thought we had very pretty faces here in the Kiss 92 studio, but look at that screen right now for those of you who are watching. We have the one and only Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Good morning. I am not at the center. I'm at Equal. Equal is equine center for horses as well as humans. So horses help humans. Humans help horses.
Oh,
I love that.
I love that idea.
I love that.
I have not touched a horse in a long time.
Animal therapy.
Yeah, the last time I
great.
touched a horse was in the Singapore Zoological Gardens. They had the petting zoo, right? I think that was maybe a pony.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to just pet a horse, you know?
Yeah,
What do
these
they usually
horses
do?
are
They
beautiful.
kiss the horse's nose or something, right? Or just
I
like
think so. Yeah, they touch the snout,
You
yeah.
just touch gently. Yes.
Yeah.
If they allow you to, the horses have their own personalities also.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
I'll put my face there and go, what big teeth you have.
It'll run away from you.
Have you seen the horse? As in like the horse's teeth? They've got big teeth. Like a friend I know. Okay, no. I shall not mention his name. Some humans have big teeth as well. Okay, but look at these people looking at me. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Jerry.
We are talking about loneliness, and you just ostracized your friend. So sad. Yeah. Ayo. Anyways, it's Mental Health Awareness Month this month, and I thought I wanted to pick up on a topic that has kind of been creeping up throughout the years, and I think a lot of talk had come about this topic this year. So it's about loneliness. So we hear the young ones talking about loneliness a lot. So the teens always say, oh, I feel so alone, I feel so alone. But actually, loneliness spans across the whole developmental lifespan.
Jerry, can I ask a question? There is a difference between I feel alone and I am lonely, no?
Okay, I think what you're talking about is loneliness versus social isolation.
Oh, okay.
So loneliness is a feeling. So I feel alone. I can be in a crowd and I still feel alone. But social isolation, so loneliness is an internal feeling. Social isolation is an external sort of a situation. So it could be that you lack friends. It could be various factors that we can go into later on that causes you to then be alone. That means you are isolated, as in really alone, physically alone.
So being
It's
alone
like
is physical.
nobody wants to hang out with you.
Hang
that kind
out
of
with
thing.
you. Yeah. And being
Yes.
lonely is emotional. Okay, got it.
Maybe what the person needs is deodorant.
It
Smelly
could
no
be,
more.
but I don't think having body odor would isolate a person so much.
You'd be surprised.
After a while, a few times, if let's say I faint, I'm going to avoid the person after that. If I lose consciousness. Okay, anyway, let's continue this wonderful conversation on the Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Benson Boone with Cry on Kiss 92.
Even the song is depressing.
Yeah. So Jerry, you were saying a lot of youth say, I'm alone, I am lonely.
Yes.
But whenever I see youth, they're always out in groups. So why do they have this, I'm alone, I feel lonely?
Not all.
But I see so
Yes.
many.
Well, part of it is also that developmental stage where they are trying to figure out where they belong. So they are searching for similarities. Sometimes they can find similarities, sometimes they cannot find similarities. They are quite harsh with each other. So therefore, if let's say they are slightly different. You know, the friends will go, oh, but I don't want to hang out with you because of this. Or they change friends very fast. So they feel abandoned, they feel rejected. So it is not because they are bad, it's just because of the age and the stage that they are at, where they are trying to find their own tribe. They are trying to find their own space.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But this has really come up during after COVID. So interestingly, not not in the heat of COVID, but after COVID. So during COVID, everybody made an attempt to try and connect with each other online. You know, everyone tried to send little gifts to each other.
Yeah.
They made the effort to text each other or Zoom each other. But after that, when all the hype has died down, then you see people not connecting. So they're connecting, but disconnecting.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, you know, they seem to have lost the ability to do face-to-face sort of engagement. Yeah, so a lot of youths, in fact, tell me that their friends are online, not offline, not in real life.
IRL.
So, yeah, they say it's not in IRL, it is online. And the best friends they have can be like miles and miles away in the US and the UK.
Dr. Gerry, is it a good idea for people to learn how to be alone and to enjoy their own company? Because I've heard that if you can live without, then you can live with.
So that's another aspect, because a lot of us hear a lot of noise and we don't know how to live with that noise. So it's very chaotic in our head. So that's why a lot of people start to take up meditation, mindfulness journeys. They learn how to be at peace with themselves in the space that they are at. Yeah, because a lot of us continue to be in our heads with a lot of flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why we're talking about people who can't seem to fall off to sleep or can't
Yeah.
sleep
Yeah.
soundly,
Soundly.
can't sleep properly. They'll sleep for like 2-3 hours and they wake up and they can't get back to sleep.
'Cause
you
it's
know,
noisy.
Because they've got too many things on their minds. Now, having spoken about, as you mentioned, kids and all that, what they're doing right now. I mean, if we can't understand them at this point, what if their parents are having difficulties getting through to their kids or connecting with their kids? What can they do? And I'm about to lead to something that's perfect, which is... this is happening right here at the SPH Auditorium on the 12th of October. It's called Navigating Emotions in Childhood and Adolescence. So, I think there are many parents who are struggling, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, and I think we shouldn't look at these sort of events as embarrassing or not wanting people to know that you're not having a good relationship with your child, or vice versa, because some people don't want to put it out there in the open. I think this is a way forward for parents to communicate and connect with their children, so that not just now but later on in life, it really is a lot easier to be with each other.
Yeah.
Because you do lose a lot of connection at certain points in your life, like all of us. Like when I was a teenager, you never wanted to hang out with your parents. You never cared if they understood you, or you always thought they never did.
Yeah.
But I think these kind of events are great because, if anything, it just gives you some time to spend together.
The way I look at an event like this is we're always trying to find like-minded people to be with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At an event like this, you find like situation people to be with.
All the parents will be going through the same thing. All the kids will be going through the same.
That in itself is a resource for these parents.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We'll close the doors. How about that? For those of you who feel like you want a little bit more privacy, we'll close the doors, okay? And, if you don't want, let's say, your photo to be taken, because we will have, people there, just inform us about it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there are two sessions actually. There's session 1 and session 2. The special thing about session 1 is the children will be separated from the parents. So they are going to have their own activity. So it's a taster of what we do in our camps and in our workshops for children. So the children will get to experience that in a separate room, and the parents will have myself as well as Michelle from Leapfrogs, and we will be talking about different disorders and different behaviors, and and we want to have a dialogue with all the parents.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
could
so that's for session 1.
this could allow parents to really figure out what their child is going through, because some people have not diagnosed their kids for, say, things like autism or dyslexia or anything like that. So you're going to bring light onto all the different disorders, and some parents could finally relate. Yeah.
But I've got to tell you,
Yeah.
over and above that, even with the topic we're talking with today, right? A lot of parents do not recognize when their
signs.
children are lonely.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're traveling down the PIE towards Tuas, look out after the KPE exit because an obstacle has been spotted. Not quite sure what that is. Also on the TPE towards the SLE, a vehicle's broken down after the Jalan Kayu exit. And finally on the PIE towards the airport after Pasir Laba, please look out for a vehicle that's broken down. Wherever you are this morning, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for today is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. And Dr. Gerry will be having an event right here at the SPH Auditorium on the 12th of October. It's called Navigating Emotions in Childhood and Adolescence, which is very appropriate considering what we are talking about this morning.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're a parent and you're trying to get through to your kids and you wanna be able to connect with them better, you should be at this seminar. Gerry, for the benefit of everyone who is listening to the radio right now, could you tell them once again what they can expect from the seminar?
Yep. So there are 2 sessions and very, very rich topics that we're talking about. The first session targets the younger population, the primary school population, and we'll be having a separate session for the children. So the parents will have the full, hour and a half with myself and Michelle from Leapfrogs, and we want to have a dialogue with the parents to share with them about the different disorders as well the behaviors and how to deal with them. And the children will have a little taster of our camps with my team, so they are all trained therapists, and they will do different activities and focusing on social skills, emotional regulation using choice theory. And the second session, which is a lovely panel discussion with myself, a mother and daughter. So the mother represents the educator, she is in the educator scene, and the teen representing the teen population. But we also have special guests who will be performing for us a skit which we will base the panel discussion on, and they are from Kent Ridge Secondary School. So a group of the student leaders will be putting up a skit for us covering different topics that teenagers face these days. So that one, we will not have a separate session for the teens and parents. Everybody comes in together to experience what it is like and to share from the different perspective, whether you're a teen or you're an educator or a parent, and we want to hear everybody's voices. So the second session is voices of teens, but we also want to hear the voices of the adults.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It
I
is.
imagine
Really good.
leaving the seminar having a better understanding,
Of
of
course.
your kids and, everyone going home feeling more confident.
Yeah.
And the kids having a better
stronger.
understanding of their parents
Yeah.
because, everyone's there for the same reason.
Yep. So
Yeah.
sign up at kiss92.sg. Okay, 12th of October, right here at the SPH Auditorium. All right, let's continue to talk to Gerry on the Big Show TV. It is 8:18.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought
That's this weekend, isn't it?
It is.
Wow,
So my
time
team
flies.
is working really, really hard this week. Yeah,
Nice.
so there's so much excitement, so much buzz that is going on in the center, and we really want to like bring light to many different topics for the teens, the kids, as well as the parents.
Okay. I love that.
Really,
be
really
great.
good, I think. Jerry, let me ask you.
Yes.
This loneliness situation we have, has it reached? I don't know whether epidemic is too big a word. Has it reached
Well,
that level?
They have so one of the big topics this year is actually male loneliness, and they are calling it an epidemic. Yeah. Before we go into the male loneliness epidemic, we look at 4 different areas that possibly can cause isolation. That means for someone to physically be isolated. So the first cause can be financial. So if we look at social comparison, right? You put somebody either in a class that is above you or below you. So you say, oh, this person too rich, also no good, too poor, also no good, and you say that I cannot mix with them, or you isolate them, or the person feels isolated because of their social status. The other one that we are familiar with that we are trying to bridge is physical disabilities. So it can be looking different. It can be physical disabilities. Let's say you've broken a leg. Now you cannot play soccer if you're a soccer player. So because of that, you are isolated from your team. So you can feel that loneliness because you are really isolated. You're not included in the space. Then the third one is abilities. So you are being isolated because of maybe your learning disability. You are not able to focus, so you are being singled out, or you are put in a different class from your classmates because you are slower in verbal processing, and you need to be taken out of that environment, so you're now isolated, right? So it could be ability. I know I cannot play ball games, so because of my visual spatial difficulties, so any sort of ball game I will be excluded. Nobody wants me. So it's like, oh my god,
I want you. I want you.
Because of your what? Your visual what?
because of the poor hand-eye coordination. So some of us
Oh.
have different limitations.
Right.
Yeah, and because of those differential abilities, we may be then excluded. Not because people purposefully want to do it, but because of in this case, the abilities or lack thereof.
I think the problem is it's psychological.
It's all in your head.
You know,
It's a psychological thing. I'm sure Julian has told you this before. So come, let's go and play some tennis or pedal tennis. And he said, no, cannot. And then if I were Julian, I'd go like, maybe it's psychological.
That's the worst thing to tell a psychologist.
Yeah.
It's in your head.
yeah, I'm very interested. You brought up financial, physical abilities, and circumstance. Correct?
Circumstances, yes.
Yeah.
So circumstances are like illness or war. So you have the country being split and you have families being split. So now you're isolated, right? Adoption. So a lot of clients, or rather some of the clients that have come forward who are adopted feel very isolated because they cannot share with anyone and everyone. Their friends would not understand their circumstance. So they feel isolated in that sense. Grief and loss. So grief and loss, we've talked about it in various situations. So you have loss of a pregnancy, loss of a loved one to suicide, and you are unable to share with people. The seniors who've lost their friends because of age, so they are starting to feel that isolation, right? The loss of family and friends. So if you start losing, one by one, and you start feeling like I've got nobody in my social circle anymore. So circumstances can cause you to feel isolated also.
Do people ever purposely put themselves in an isolated situation?
Yes, I forget the term now, but I think we had talked about it. So there are a group of people in Japan where they purposefully hibernate themselves and they don't want to come out of their houses. So they just want to be alone. So yeah, we do that. In fact, if we look at just very generally, we had talked about introverts and extroverts, and introverts need their recharge time. So they do need time to be alone. They choose to be physically alone, but they do not feel alone. In fact, don't encroach into their space, because when they are recharging, they can be very irritable, they can be very angsty, or they are so exhausted they cannot entertain you. So people can choose to physically be alone, so they can they do want to be alone for this group of people, but they are not isolated.
Yeah, so these people who choose to be alone are not necessarily lonely. They just want me time.
So sorry, Dr. Gerry, I just wanted to find out, when do we intervene? Is there any one time when someone is isolated or alone and maybe needs the company, and we assume they need the company, but maybe they want to be alone? So when do we actually intervene and offer our company?
So two ways, right? One, you can ask them, do you want me to be present? Do you want me to go over? If you have texted them once and they don't reply, don't keep bugging them. Wait for them and offer that opportunity. The availability that I'll be here whenever you need me, so they know that you are there. On the flip side, the person can also request. So I hear too many times that, but I don't want to burden my friend, I don't want to burden this person, I don't want to burden that person. But many times friends are there to rely on each other. So if we don't reach out to them, then what are they there for? It's not just for good times, but also good times and bad times.
Ooh, that's a Led Zeppelin song right there. Good times, bad times. Wait, hold on, we're going for a traffic update.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Well, it looks like the PIE is in a great spot to be in, especially if it's headed towards towards Tuas, because there are two situations on the PIE. One is after the Toa Payoh exit. Please avoid lane 3, a vehicle's broken down. And the other is after Upper Jurong Road. Avoid lane 1 because an accident has been spotted. Also on the SLE towards the CTE before the Mandai Avenue exit. Avoid lane 1 as well. Another accident wherever you are this morning. Stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning and every Tuesday morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
So, Gerry, something has come up in my mind. We hear people say this, and I'm going to ask you a question. But I love being alone most of the time. Is that a worry?
No. So FD's personality and Glenn's personality are complete opposite. So you complement each other very, very well. Glenn is very extroverted, FD is very introverted. And we can see that so over the weekend you had like events, right? So
Yeah.
for whoever that goes for an event and you observe them, oh no, now everybody will start observing both of you.
Thanks, Jerry.
They've been doing that
For a
for
long
many,
time.
many
They've been doing it
years.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, Glenn will be out there chatting with everyone. You will realize that you would need to go up to FD and say hello to FD. So you would see the different personalities, and both personalities are beautiful personalities. Nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be worried about. Like you say, you just need a little bit more space to yourself. And when people come into your space one by one, you would be able to entertain them, and that's okay.
Okay. Did someone report to you about what they saw at
That's right.
the car expo over the weekend or what?
Who's been talking to you, Jerry?
No.
She
Oh,
knows
no,
you guys.
not everybody. Whenever you all go for an event, they will start observing you.
Yup.
That would be so fun. Oh. But the other thing that we're talking about loneliness is that male loneliness epidemic that I was talking about. And it first came out in the US where they say it's an epidemic. And I guess even in the Asian countries, we do see it also, when men tend to repress their emotions and hold back their feelings. So one of the complaints that men tend to say is that I don't have close friends. Now this is really weird because they're
Yeah.
soccer buddies, they're beer buddies, but if you ask them a little bit more, like what do they talk about, they don't talk about deep emotional topics. So they're still very left alone in
Yeah.
dealing with their own, as they put, right, their own shit. That's what they would say.
Yeah, because
But,
they're talking about football, they're talking
Yeah.
about cars, they're
Not,
talking about
not me
golf.
and my friends though. Me and my friends, we go in really deep.
Yours is
You
very
seem
different,
it,
but
yeah.
the average male, and I agree with
Average.
Jerry. The average male
Superficial.
does not have a friend whose shoulder he can cry
Does
on.
not go deep at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have that.
And yet they say they have to shoulder everything. They are
Yeah.
the sole breadwinner. Yes, although many families now have dual income, but many of the men still feel responsible. They feel like they're carrying the bigger bulk of the burden. Yeah, and they don't know who to help them to relieve some of that burden.
Oh, I'm
So
really
they-
feeling for the boys now.
But okay.
No, it's
No,
it's,
because
it's the
it's
way we're
true.
built. It's the way we're built.
How
Rachel.
can we help the men? They seem, because I mean, girls have girlfriends to talk to,
Yeah.
and girls find it very
And you
easy
talk
to share
emotionally.
emotions. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
We don't.
Yes.
And boys don't.
Go to
don't.
bed with us. That's one way. As well.
Wow, he said that so seriously as well.
Talking, Glenn, talking.
All of us have our wants. What?
Such a straight face.
She's like
He was like-
asking, so I'm just saying.
One
Anyway.
track mind.
Okay, up next, Christina Aguilera featuring Sabrina Carpenter. This is the latest version of What a Girl Wants on Kiss 92.
Oh, we got a comment on
Dr.
Facebook.
Jerry's like, she's still
No,
tickled.
I'd like Jerry's opinion on this one, because this is an interesting comment. Men do not have that bonding that women have because males have higher pride. What do you say to
No, I
that,
don't-
Jerry?
Not all.
So
I have no
not
pride.
not all, because I it's a very general flippant statement that we tend to make, but they are schooled to hold in everything. They are taught that they cannot show emotion. They are taught that showing emotions are weak. So they will appear to be prideful or arrogant because they are taught not to show otherwise. So many times, if you really sit with them, they are human beings with emotion with red blood flowing through their veins. So they're no different from anyone else. Just that they don't know where to put that burden or that stone down.
I mean, it's very much like what before we went on air, we were talking about spare the rod, spoil the child, and all that. And you guys were kind of like, oh, you have to reprimand the boys with corporal punishment because otherwise they cannot be men. And that's exactly why. It could very well be it because they're not encouraged to show their emotions. Oh, if boys cry, then they're sissies. It's not true.
Well, we were all told. I don't know whether you was. I mean, I
Of
was
course,
numerous
boys were
times.
brought up like that.
Big boys don't cry.
Exactly.
My mom never said that to me.
It was said to me multiple times.
Actually,
Big boys
she was
don't cry.
killing two birds with one stone, actually. Because one whack with the hanger, it was painful. Once in a while, so painful, I would cry. There.
Okay, so she got
So
both
I,
of it.
I
That's
got
why
like
your
the
emotions-
pain, which would make me a little bit more tolerant,
Tough.
as in and tough, and at the same time, I cried.
Okay.
So you see,
Two birds with one stone. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
yes. And you know what? I just want to say this, okay? Because I'm known for not crying, right? But it's not that I don't want to cry. It's just that it takes something, to bring out those emotions that will make me feel something. Maybe I'm a bit, maybe tougher in that sense, right? But like over the weekend, when I was at Michelle's birthday, when Natasha went up to make that speech, I cried.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Wow.
So I turned around and I looked at Jean. I'm like, I cried.
Yeah.
Who says I don't cry? And then I used my napkin to wipe my eye, and I had some lamb on my eye after that.
No, but I often think. Sorry, Jerry, with that we're going on about our personal things, but this just stuff
No,
that
because-
you can comment on,
Yeah.
because I feel that I cry so much now because as a child, it's big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry, and I couldn't let that emotion out.
But now
and
you
now I
can.
feel I'm an adult, and I can because I'm an adult.
Because you're more comfortable with yourself as
Yeah.
well.
Were you talking about
you know?
now or throughout?
No,
like,
now.
Now?
Because when I was a kid, it's big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry.
No, but 10
Big
years
boys-
ago, you're still an adult. What? 20 years ago,
Yeah,
you're
so
still
that's
an
what I
adult.
mean.
You've been crying
been
now,
like-
right?
I've been like that.
He's a crybaby,
No, he's not a crybaby.
I've-
He's just he knows how to show that's how he shows his emotions. It's different.
I don't know.
Doesn't make you a crybaby. Just
If he goes
because
to the Malay stall and he can't get the tempeh, he'll start crying.
that's not true. That's probably not. That will be a crybaby.
It's when I cannot get my sambal tumis, then I
That's
cry.
right.
That he
See?
said that.
Get it
I
right,
tried to
Glenn.
stand up for you.
Get it right.
But it is also the changes in the society and the permission that is given now that you are reading, that you are seeing. So part of it is maturity, part of
Yeah.
it is also that society has given permission. There's more talk about men crying and it's okay, so and
okay.
we are all talking about it.
Yeah. Jerry, someone's listening to us right now, and he now understands that he is lonely. He is part of that epidemic. He is lonely. What can he do for himself?
Jerry's got
So
to know his
what-
circumstances. What? Okay, first and foremost, Jerry, before you say anything, I just want to tell this gentleman, whoever you are, I mean, if you could, maybe you can get in touch with, Jerry as well. But right now, Jerry, go ahead.
Yeah, so already, having that community. So the radio community is a community. So getting into a community, so being here, having us hear you out is already very useful for you. That acknowledgement that you receive is important. So when we want to help ourselves, we go into a community with like-minded people. So you can do it via hobbies. So you have hobbies, you can chat with them, you can share your joys with them, you can share your downs with them. Volunteering is also a very effective way because you are engaging with a community that you love. So it could be with the young ones, it could be with the migrant communities, it could be with the seniors. And I'm going to highlight seniors because there's a Singapore research studies done that seniors 2 out of 5 feel lonely. So we want to appeal to people. So it's a very, very high number. So in the world, it is actually 1 out of 4 people. So in Singapore, it's 2 out of 5. Yeah,
That's a lot.
seniors who feel lonely. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can volunteer with different populations, including the seniors.
But I think we look within our own like families and households because my parents are lonely, even though they're both still
But they have
alive.
you kids, you see, that's why.
They
That
do,
makes such
but,
a difference.
But us kids also have our lives. You know what I mean? Like I'm making a more conscious effort to see them more often, take my mom out more often. But I also have a lot of other stuff going on.
But at least you're doing that.
know?
You see, someone like me, I have no kids. Who's going
Yeah.
to take care of me in my old age? You know what I mean?
I think you can hire people.
No.
for it,
I'm going to
yeah.
check myself in a nursing home. You know why? There are many nurses there.
Oh
Hello,
my
nurses.
Good Lord.
Jerry, when we talk about this loneliness, we talked about intentional isolation. We talked about some of the reasons for social isolation. This is for the kids, and we do have young ones, teenagers listening. And I'd like your comment on it. Unintentional social isolation caused by technology. The amount of time we spend in front of a screen.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
So the in
20
real
seconds, Jerry,
life
20 seconds.
versus virtual life, in real life versus virtual life, and we constantly encourage them to come into offline community. That's why we talk about hobbies, we talk about volunteering, we talk about pets even, because that gets them off the screen.
Okay, hold on. We'll
And
continue
I will
in a while.
stop.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the SLE towards the CTE, an accident has been reported before the Mandai Avenue exit, causing a backup all the way to the BKE entrance. Avoid the right lane. On the PIE towards the airport, yet another accident, this time after Thompson Road. Avoid lanes 1, 2, and 5. Once again, an accident on the PIE towards the airport after Thompson Road. 3 lanes are closed, 1, 2, and 5. Lastly, on the PIE towards Tuas after Jalan Yunos, a vehicle's broken down. If you spot anything, it's 8855-0920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for today is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. If you need to talk to a professional, do get in touch with the good people from the Therapy Room. All right, Jerry. Wait. One more thing. I was just distracted by Shalini Susan, who was waving something in the air. Frankly speaking, I didn't see that. What was that? Let me see. Oh, okay. It's a wrap up after this, talk set. Okay. So, once again, for those of you who are just tuning in, this coming Saturday, the 12th of October at the SPH Auditorium, Jerry and her team will be here. She'll be conducting a seminar called Navigating Emotions in Childhood and Adolescence. If you guys haven't signed up yet, you can do so at kiss92.sg. Okay? So, after the seminar, you and your kids will feel closer, you'll understand your kids even better, you'll be stronger overall together.
Yeah, it's a good session. I think it's not just for those that might be having trouble communicating with their kids. It's also for those that just want to spend more time and just want to get a better understanding of what's going on in each other's minds.
Yeah, of course, because a lot of parents want their kids to learn from them.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents forget that we also need to learn from our kids. Otherwise, this is not going to work.
And
It's
one
a
of the
two-way
reasons
street.
why
It's a
there's a
two-way
disconnect, as you
street.
were mentioning earlier on, FD, is because kids are on their devices all the
All the
time.
time.
So let's just go through that once again.
Involuntary or unintentional social
Isolation.
isolation because of technology.
So they are still, so we think they are isolating themselves. They
Yeah.
do not think that they are isolating themselves. They love the text. They love to go online to chat with their community online. And they feel very comfortable and very accepted. Now, what we need them to understand is that they can be accepted in real life. So they are very worried about judgment, about how people think about them. So that's why the distance feels very comfortable. So what we want is to have them join communities that are like-minded, that they can start with lesser judgment. So they don't prejudge another person, and the other person is not judging them because they are engaging in something that is enjoyable for them, so like a hobby, like something that they like to engage in, like volunteering even, or even just being with their pets, because many of them enjoy the company of their pets because the pets just give unconditional love, right?
Yeah.
They don't, the pets don't judge. Humans being judged actually, so they feel extremely worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean has messaged us on our YouTube channel, and he totally agrees. He says, yes, people are glued to their phones. It's like they're robots, even when they're out in reality. Even when they're out in real life, they're still walking with their phones. That's all they care about. We also have someone else that's come on our YouTube. Their handle is Strong Power, and Strong Power says they're watching us from Brooklyn, New York. So
Morning, New York.
good Monday night
Night
to you in
New
New
York.
York. It is now 8:44 p.m.
Wow.
Thanks for watching us.
Thank you so much. And Gerry, of course, it is coming from Equal, Jalan Manshore, if I'm not mistaken. And
Jalan yes.
right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And basically what Equal does is animal-assisted intervention, right?
Yes.
So just tell us a little bit before you go, because, I mean, since you're there anyway, Gerry.
Yes. So equine assisted learning, and we're looking at programs and services for the community. So all these are rescued horses. So that's why I say it's horses helping humans and humans helping horses. So if the horses are not being rescued, they would either be they would end their lives, right? Or they would be fed to the lions. I think so. Yeah, so we save the horses, and the horses are used for learning. So learning about connecting, learning about teamwork, learning about patience. So there are many different themes and values that we teach, not only the individual, but also the family. So we have family programs also, and sometimes we have programs for seniors where we bring the miniature horses to the seniors. It's really, really cute. Yeah, and the little horses are really like puppies. When they play, they are really quite cheeky. So come, join. You can't just walk in because they are not on display. This is not a zoo. So you do need to write in, you do need to make an appointment and sign up for even a trial program to see whether you're comfortable. The horses are not aggressive, but they do have personalities. So we also use that to teach the children to calibrate and regulate themselves before approaching any of these horses.
That's so nice.
I
So
know.
cool.
I'd love to go out there.
So if members of the public want to experience this, all they need to do is just call the facility.
Make an
Yes, they
appointment.
just call or they just write in. Yes.
Okay. Once again, it's Equal, spelled EQUAL. Yes, the same spelling as the artificial sweetener.
That's right. Yes, nothing artificial here, though.
Okay, Gerry, before you go, your quote.
Yes. So Maya Angelou says this, and this is going out to all the listeners out there, all the emo kids who love their music. And she says, music was my refuge. I could crawl into the space between the notes and curl back to loneliness. So that's
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
Okay, thank you so much, Gerry, for joining us today.
Glad to be here. See everybody on Saturday. No.
Yes, everyone, please sign up right now. Kiss92.sg, all right? Especially you want to meet Gerry and her team. And of course, it's going to be a very, very useful session.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're finding it difficult communicating with your kids. Thank you so much, Gerry. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Up next, M. Bayhold. This is Numb Little Bug on Kiss 92.